Alright, here with jaeelolo, out of Houston. What part of Houston you from?
I'm from the Clark.
You from the Clark, okay. Now we're gonna get straight into it with your music. We see you do numbers when you drop. We want to talk off the muscle. We want to talk about your consistency. So how you choosing when you drop it? Because we don't see you drop often, but when you do, it's big. How you choose when you want to drop?
Honestly, it really like depend on like what's coming up. So say if I got like a mixtape finna drop, like I'm not really gonna drop that much. But like the stuff that I do drop, it might be like a snippet of like some songs on there. But as far as like my freestyle videos and stuff, like I kind of lay off that because I be in the studio like all the time. So it really just depends on like what I'm doing.
So you actually all still working, even though you're not dropping as consistent. The work ethic is still there. Because you know, from the outside looking in, the fans don't actually get to see what's behind the scenes. So you always recording basically.
All the time, yeah. If I'm not recording, I'm writing. And when I write, it's like I don't really write no more. So when I hear a beat, like I write a whole song in my head before I write it down on paper. But I'm only writing it down on paper to take to the studio. Just make sure that like my words be clear. So if I'm not in the studio, then I'm writing.
See, so even what I said was basically a misinterpretation, and that's basically what a lot of fans are doing. So how you deal with that? Because that's basically me putting expectations on you. How you deal with the expectations?
I don't know. Like I really expect. I know what people expect out of me, but it's better when I give them what they don't expect, because like I just feel like they keep the people who listen to me on their toes, and they're not gonna ever get bored. Okay.
And with your fan base, it's almost like you building a core fan base. You're not doing too many things to go outside of what you are doing. You're not overextending yourself, but you're really building a core following. So with that being said, how you look at other people, because the city on fire, it's a lot of people trying to build these core followings that you already have begun to build.
Right.
How you looking at the competition in this city, with the city being as on fire as it is? Or are you looking at it from a standpoint of networking? How do you look at that?
Really networking, because I'm gonna just refer to Atlanta because that's what a lot of people refer to. I feel like networking could bring a whole city up, because when you look at Atlanta, you got 100 rappers, but they all fuck with each other to the point where they all known. So it's really not a competition for me either though, because you don't have nobody that rap like I do.
Even with the way the female rap market always seems to be, with it being based off of competition, you still don't feel that any pressure of competition?
No.
Overstood.
Not really.
Okay, but with you networking, you want to explain to us the process of how you go about the networking?
Networking, like for instance, in the past 2 weeks, I done met like 4 rappers, and we all done like got each other's socials, and like we like pushing each other's shit to the point to where like we be working with each other now. So it's really just being genuine in the beginning, and I feel like when y'all start working together, it's just gonna all flow.
So with as far as this is specific to you, your style of rap seems more of a storyteller to me. And with that being the way I'm perceiving it, I wanted to see if that's the way that you're going about it from your perspective also.
Yeah.
With that being said, I want to talk to you about the depth of your life story. So I want you to just take me on a journey. If it's something that you feel like that you haven't put out music on, so you don't want to talk about now, you don't have to. But just as far as what you have expanded on through your music, could you take me on that journey?
Yeah. So my last EP, that was I named that the Shake Bag, and that was like all of like the trials and the tribulations and like all of the trauma. So the album that I'm finna drop now, it's more like I'm talking my shit on this one. So like y'all gonna hear me now. But I just really, on the EP, I had to break it down to like where I got kicked out when I was 14, like my arm caught on fire, I got pregnant, like all that's on the EP. And I make it to where you didn't go through it, but you gonna feel what I'm saying by how I say it. So just me growing up in the Clark, single mama, the usual. My daddy was in and out of prison. I mean, like, I pretty much did what I wanted to do, which is probably why she kicked me out, you know. And just like high school, Marshall was the only school that I stayed at all 4 years, and that's thanks to Coach B. Like she didn't let them kick me out, and I'm so grateful. But in college, when I got to TSU, like 2015 through 2017, I would really say that like I was really on demon time. Like I was going through so much, to people dying, to my papa having heart surgery, to me having problems with the family. It was just like I wasn't myself. But that's around the time that I like chose to start rapping. So I was probably like 19. Yeah, I was probably like 19 when I just really started rapping. And one of my homeboys was like you got shit to talk about, and like people not talking about that. So I just jumped in the booth, and that was that. Like I was in the group from the go. We was in the studio all night. This was like four going on 5 years ago. Like we was in the studio all night, shows. So all the stuff, and I really don't want to like say this wrong, but it's like the stuff that people trying to do, like I did that not knowing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now I feel like I'm really getting, like I'm finding myself as an artist to when I just really just put the gas on it, like I'm finna do with this album. Yeah.
Okay, that leads me to 2 questions. Now 2021, that's when we can expect the album this year?
Yes.
About how far do you feel like you are done with that project?
Me and my engineer, we just really laid out the whole album like 2 days ago. I have 11 songs, really 10 and 1 bonus. So it's 11. And I plan on dropping it like the end of March.
But not a specific release date yet?
No.
No specific release date. Okay.
We got like a couple that we trying to see, but when I go back to the studio, it's like I'm really just putting the finishing touches on it. So when I finally listen to it and get that feel like it's done, then we're gonna figure out a date.
Okay, with you speaking on how you are painted or perceived as an artist, I wanted to speak to you about, obviously you're a beautiful woman, and how you chose to go the route that you're going, as opposed to which seems to be the easier route now, which is a sex symbol, which would obviously be easy for you to do. How did you choose to go with, I'm gonna let my talent speak, as opposed to or do you view yourself as a sex symbol?
No, I get what you're saying, but like, how I want to put it, like, I feel like it's more to a woman than fucking. So when you got a person that look like me not talking about that, and I'm talking about real shit, I feel like that's gonna make you pay attention more, because it's gonna be surprising. And I don't know, I don't want to speak for all females, but I feel like some female rappers start rapping because that's the easiest route, and that's all they talk about. And if it take longer for me because I'm not talking about that, then that's just what it is.
Okay. In 2021, so you got the album coming this year. Do you already know the title?
Yes, Low A.
Low A, okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything else we can look forward to coming from you 2021?
Videos. Way more videos. And I'm doing more dancing too. I do choreography too. So I'm gonna like incorporate my dancing with my music, because like you really don't have rappers that's rapping and dancing. So I'm gonna try to perfect that. 2021 is like I'm executing the red print. Like I drew it out. Now it's just time to just get it done.
Any specific reason why you call it the red print?
It's just my stepdaddy was a bud. So like I feel like it's trained in me now to like say certain stuff referring to certain colors. So like we couldn't wear blue growing up, like shoelaces couldn't be blue, nothing. So instead of saying the blueprint, I just feel more comfortable saying the red print. And I've been saying that because I got it from him.
And basically, it wasn't what you intended to speak on, which is your longevity, but you spoke about being in a rap group 4 or 5 years ago. 2 questions pertaining to that. One is, do you feel like that those experiences that you initially had becoming an artist have molded you in any kind of way or taught you anything that you use today?
Yeah, facts. For certain. Like, just like my work ethic, because like we used to be in the studio all night, literally till like 4 in the morning. and then go home and then come back and we back in the studio. Like we was moving to the point where people thought we was signed, but like we really wasn't signed. But like we had shows every week. Like we in the studio like at least 4 times out the week, all night. So certain situations, good and bad, I feel like helped me a lot now, because like I done had labels, quote unquote, try to, you know, and I just know how to move now.
Are you signed to anybody or affiliated with anybody right now, any specific camp or label?
No, not at all. I'm fully independent. I do everything myself. If it's not me, it's Twin. And she over there.
All right, and basically back to the depth of the life story. I want you to speak on dancing also, as far as that being one of your talents. One, and also how going to college, because a lot of artists may not highlight the fact that they went completely through school, that they played sports, and that may have had an impact on your amount of discipline. But I want you to speak about going to college and how that reflects on you as an artist now.
Okay, so I went to college on a track scholarship. I ran track for 10 years, and I originally signed to UH, but then I had an altercation. I lost that scholarship, but the TSU coach still wanted me, so they gave me a scholarship. Then I went and my patella, which is the bone like in front of your knee, it popped out of place, and I didn't strain my ACL, I strained my MCL, so I couldn't run for like a year. And around that time, it was like going towards the end of the year, and I remember my papa had picked me up, and he told me that he had to get heart surgery, and he didn't know like if he was gonna make it, and the only person that he was gonna be worried about was me. So at that point, I just felt like life took over school at that point, because I gotta get right, because I don't know what's gonna happen. And I just kind of left school behind, not intentionally, but I feel like I had to, because my papa raised me. Like my mama, we growing a bond, and my daddy like my homeboy, really. So like my papa, like that's like him. So I just had to get right, and I started rapping.
Okay. Now I wanted to get you as far as to tell them where they can find you on all your on all your social media platforms or your YouTube channel. Where can they find you?
Okay, so on my Instagram, you can find me at jaeelolo. It's at JAEELOLO. I'm on Twitter. It's the same thing. It's an underscore at the end. And my YouTube, it is in the link on my Instagram. So go click that. And because I just dropped a video, none of that shit low mix. So yeah, that's everything.
Any other streaming platforms they can find your music?
I'm on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, everything. Go check out my EP, The Shake Back. That's on everything too. You can type in LoLo and then type in The Shake Back. Everything's spaced out. And I'm gonna drop an album, Low Way. Stay tuned.